everybody. This is Anthony with The Weekly Buffer, a weekly podcast from Innovation and Tech Today, where we give you your tech fix in 3 5-minute stories. My name is Anthony. This is Alex.
I'm Alex.
This is Adam.
And I'm Adam.
What an intro. And something I wanted to bring up, just starting out. Alex, you said that you had a question about this prop that we have here.
Yeah, this Manwich can...
Canwich, I believe.
Manwich.
For those who are listening, on our table we have a can of Manwich, and glued to the top is a figure of Batman. And I was wondering if someone could explain that to me.
Well, it is Dylan, our managing editor.
Okay.
It's an award within.
He's hosted with us.
He's hosted before. Yes. He created it as a inter-office award that we give out. I believe once a month now.
Yeah.
And just wanted to explain that to you because we've had numerous questions about it, and it's not often that you have Batman glued to the top of a can of Manwich.
It's a great award, and if you get it, I mean, you definitely should feel.
It's the most prestigious award.
Prestigious
by far.
All, yeah.
Yes, but just want to get that out of the way to clear up the controversy just a little bit.
Many angry questions.
I know.
Many people writing in about that.
I can't go back to my home lately.
Right.
Well, let's start out with a little bit of a tech topic here from our buddy Adam.
Yeah. So kind of jumping off a little bit of what I was talking about the last episode and a little bit before that. I kind of wanted to touch on like the future of AR technology. Augmented reality. Mm-hmm. So I was touching on what Apple was launching last week and how they're implementing this new AR stuff, technology like built in with their new iPads and obviously iPhones with the new iOS updates. They have this new Apple AR kit, which is focusing on creators to create this augmented reality experience for many of us users that go out retail and any kind of experience like that. So it's really cool. I think like just focusing on the user experience and like maybe what we think will be like some of the new coolest things that like we can envision. Definitely touching out like Snapchat was one of the big heavy hitters that jumped off. I mean, besides Pokemon Go, AR, but implementing the AR with their lenses, they jumped that off in 2015. And I mean, a lot of you, the viewers who know Snapchat, it's like putting those filters, lenses, on your face. It really took Snapchat to the next level with like advertising and hitting demographics. So I think just in marketing, that'll be a big leap. I mean, obviously you guys seen Snapchat do that. So.
Well, those were the Snap glasses. Was that the name of it? The Snap spectacles.
Yes, that I think were an utter failure.
Yeah, those.
And see, those are like putting you. Those are more of a POV camera, not really augmented reality. So one crazy fact that blew my mind, and I guess it holds the record for the one day most filters used. I guess Taco Bell partnered with them for one day, and they did a Cinco de Mayo filter, and it was viewed 224 million times. So it's like the most. So I mean, that's from an advertising standpoint. Like the way that they're using that experience, you get like, I don't know if there was a little Chihuahua jumping around or what was going on with. But I mean, so like Snapchat's been doing it. Some of these other cool apps that maybe you guys haven't heard of, but some cool like companies that are actually like applying this stuff. So like. Have you guys heard of IKEA using this?
I've heard a little bit about it, yeah.
So they're using the app, and instead, like, going into a furniture store is one of the normal things to do as, like, a person getting a new house or something like that, or just, going to the floor, going to the showroom floor. But IKEA is really implementing this AR, so you could be sitting in your apartment or your home and use your phone, and it's going to visually place the couch in there with the right measurements to see if you could fit in.
So I could use this to automatically make my apartment less depressing and make it seem like I actually have
furniture. You screenshot it, send it to your parents.
And they're like, I'm doing okay.
And actually, that's one of their features, too. You can share with friends and family, too. Okay. So when you're buying and shopping, you can, share opinions and stuff like that, too. So that was an interesting one if you haven't heard IKEA. And they are set to say, they're predicting that online sales are going to reach from this AR technology. In 2020, they're predicting it to hit 5.9 billion.
Wow.
And just to put that in perspective, just in 2016, their online sales are only 1.6. So that's almost 5 times, almost 4 to 5 times like in sales. So I think that one's really interesting.
I wonder if they'll ever incorporate AR into the actual building of those darn IKEA furniture.
Like a how-to, like a how-to. That would be really cool.
You place it and it shows you all the parts
and see. We're touching on that, the how-tos. There's like surgeons that are like learning new things. I guess they've been applying that to AR surgery. So they it's called surgery augmented reality, and they pretty much like just superimpose the like organ or something right there, so that you can like literally, or there's a cut or insertion. So it's kind of like with the learning applicability of that would be really cool. Some of the other cool ones that I thought were just like off the wall. There's this one called Wallami, and it's like a map. It's a map of obviously you take a picture of something like wherever you're traveling, and like I could take a picture and then I could write a secret message, and then you could go and like kind of see that secret message. I thought that one was interesting.
Yeah, it's like a combination of like AR and like that geocaching.
Like that. That's what kind of intrigued me. I thought that was interesting.
The surgery one sounds kind of cool, but do we really need it when we already have Operation as a game?
Like Operation. That's high tech. Maybe that's where this spun off.
Pretty soon, Operation will be phased out completely.
I know.
AR.
AR Operation.
I'm scared for those days. That dude kept,
I mean, and there's some other really cool ones. I mean, obviously for like realtors and doing like visual tours, but there's a lot of cool just that user experience. Going back to that user experience, there's other companies doing it like with reading books for children. Like making it experience. Remember when you have like those books and it would make a sound effect? Like now they're having a book where you can push a button and the whole picture will come out and it'll interact with the kid and stuff like that. So I think that's really interesting.
There's no AR thing to actually have somebody else read a story to my child. I would still have to do it.
You might still have to do that. You can get a pre-recording.
I don't like that part. I think that's something we should automate, to be honest.
But yeah, there's just some other cool. So I kind of was thinking like what would you guys see in the future? I mean, you see like a Google Translate uses it, and you can like hold your phone up to like Spanish or Chinese or something, and it would translate that. So like, what's some of the things like? I mean, as a musician, maybe what would you see? Like, could you see it like at a concert venue?
Yeah.
Like, would you see something like that?
Well, I think it'd almost be kind of cool to you see different musical setups through it. Like, see what different amp setups would look like, different like pedal setups.
So as a user coming in, I could be like, oh, this guy's got this set up.
Yeah,
and kind of says some details.
And you could kind of like build your own kit and see what like that would end up looking like. I think that would be really cool. I was also thinking for cosplayers, it might be kind of cool for them to like filter and see what they would look like.
So on that note, one of the companies that was mentioned that I didn't mention actually is L'Oreal, which is the makeup company.
Right.
And so it's kind of like that where you can visualize what makeup you're putting on. And there's also one that does
I thought L'Oreal was shampoo.
Like tattoos or something. They do makeup and stuff like that too.
Right.
But there's another one with tattoos, and it's kind of like
you can try a tattoo.
So you can kind of place where it's at. So
trust me, I've been to Waterworld, and there's a lot of people that should have used that app. Moving right along. Speaking of, not really. There's no transition here.
Well, I wanted to hear what Alex maybe. I wanted to hear less what Alex maybe would have like an idea what he could use the.
I think gaming's a big one. Like maybe like you put on. Like I think I've actually seen this. I forget the company, but you put on these glasses, and like all of a sudden like aliens will just pop up around your house and like you shoot them and stuff like that.
Well, Pokemon Go, it literally got like millions of people like out of the house and trapped. So there's like So I really think that user experience. I think it's going to be really big with companies like focusing on what it's going to do. Experience going to concerts and stuff like that. Gaming. Yeah.
Should be really cool. Yeah. And speaking of user experience, now there's a transition. I wanted to talk a little bit about, I was reading this story about 7-Eleven is one of the latest stores. They're trying this out at a bunch of stores in Dallas where they're just completely automating the cashier. It's just going to be all through like your 7-Eleven app. Okay. And this just entire dawn of automated cashier. It's nothing new altogether, but just the fact that like a store like 7-Eleven, I always thought you needed somebody there. Because it's usually, somebody that's half drunk at 3 a.m, or that's you do need somebody there. And I think they're still gonna have a person there for like alcohol sales and whatnot.
Yeah, well, someone has to like clean and
it has been kind of weird that transition because like you remember first going to the grocery store and there's like a couple of those automatic and then even I think McDonald's has like those things now like in
they're starting to do that.
Some stuff like that, so it is that transition phase.
Do you guys like using those? Because I personally don't, to be honest. I like talking to somebody, but there's never anybody that like is an actual cashier at the grocery store anymore that I can use.
I can see its pros and cons.
I unless I'm buying like one thing, I will usually go to the person at the grocery store.
Yeah.
I don't do self-checkout. I mean, unless I literally have like one or two things.
Yeah. Right.
Like if I'm doing my grocery shopping, I will go to the actual cashier and, I don't know.
It is more personal. I mean, I think it depends on the person. But timely, I'm always going to the self-checkout. Like if I'm in a rush or if like I'm just getting one or two things, I'm going to the self-checkout.
Or if it's something you're embarrassed to buy, you don't want the cashier to see it, you know.
Aisle 3, can I have a
price
check?
No. Don't want people to know about all that.
Right.
I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it overall because it is like you're taking work away from people, but it's so weird because you go up to the cashier sometimes and they give you a look like, why didn't you just go to the robot thing?
Yeah. Well, and it does make sense for a place like 7-Eleven where like you're probably running in real quick, getting one or two things.
Yeah.
Where it's not like a grocery store or like you're not like buying pants. Or like something that would take.
I used to get all my pants at 7-Eleven.
What state did you say that was in?
That's Dallas. That is kind of starting off with.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna kind of. It's also like a control thing because 7-Eleven is a kind of place that you can really quickly grab something and run. Yeah. So like almost not having that person doing the cashier thing. That's almost like a security thing at the same time.
Yeah.
I wonder how that's going to
really affect. I mean, obviously, in other stores are like the Amazon store where you could just go in and there's no people at all.
Yeah,
like that.
Automatically scans.
So I mean, I think they're trying that transition phase to see what we can.
I mean, I'm just worried because I need that person there to recommend
You'll
which gross
You'll
taquito.
Talk to anybody everywhere.
I need that which like gross taquito to get off of the little rolly things. I want their personal chef's recommendations.
Right.
Overall. Well, speaking of chef's recommendations, Alex, you had a story?
Yeah, speaking of...
Great transitions today.
Chef recommendations.
I like that.
Well, so I have a question to start off. What is the biggest bird you can think of?
Not the seagull. Which big ostrich?
I think of the emu, like a relative of the emu or a large.
An emu is just an ostrich.
Are you going back to extinct? Because didn't they say dinosaurs had feathers? Are they kind of birds? I mean, that's a whole other argument or like topic in itself.
I don't believe that.
Well, so the biggest birds today, I think is the ostrich is the biggest bird today.
Okay.
But recently is extinct. There's the elephant bird of Madagascar. Which was average 1,400 pounds and about 12 feet tall.
Good lord.
Yeah. So, they don't know
I'm picturing Big Bird. But
I went straight to Big Bird.
No, it does. It's a flightless bird. Does on two legs, sort of similar to like the emu or ostrich. And they think it's about 12 feet tall. It's hard because they haven't been able to actually reconstruct the body and understand the actual posture of the bird. But basically, they recently, that's sort of did you know
the elephant?
Yeah. The elephant bird of Madagascar.
They always find good things in Madagascar.
I gotta go to this Madagascar place. It's pretty sweet.
Good stuff.
But so then they recently discovered that this bird was actually nocturnal, and the way they figured that out was they looked at its brain. And they basically did a digital reconstruction of it so they could compare it to other bird brains, specifically the kiwi, which is the flightless bird in New Zealand, because those birds are relatives. And so the elephant bird has an expanded olfactory bulb, which is related to smell, and a reduced optic lobe, which is associated with vision. So basically it could smell really well and not see very well.
And so they deducted from that.
Yeah. Couldn't they have just figured it out by staying up all night and just looking for these giant birds walking around?
They're extinct.
I missed that part of the story. All right, go on.
So basically after doing the digital reconstruction and comparing it to other birds, other similar birds, they established, this bird must be nocturnal. But it's interesting because you compare it to one of the most famous nocturnal bird is the owl, who actually opposite has really good vision.
Right.
They have that really sharp low light vision. Because they use that for hunting and to defend themselves from predators and things like that. Right. But in the elephant bird's case, it basically didn't need to see at all because it was an herbivore. So
I was gonna ask, does this thing eat meat?
Yeah, it's huge.
That would be terrifying.
So it didn't need to hunt at all.
Okay.
And because it was on Madagascar, And I think maybe this is why Madagascar has all the coolest predators.
Yeah.
Coolest animals is because there's not that many predators.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And so this bird, because it's so big, had no natural predators until humans eventually
It
came.
was at the top of the food chain.
But yeah, so it basically would just hang out, eat leaves, and nothing could touch it. And so, yeah, because they didn't need to hunt or protect themselves, they didn't need to see it all.
Right.
I think the most interesting part about that is like how they like figured it out. They reverse engineered.
Basically,
like,
kind of reconstructing what its brain would have looked like from all kind of past discoveries.
Like physical traits.
Yeah,
Right.
basically, I was saying, like, basically from things they had discovered back in the 40s, in the 1940s, and kind of reconstructing this brain. Yeah, and then comparing it to like hundreds of bird brains and seeing what's similar, what's different, and what they can deduce. It's really interesting.
I did not know that birds could be herbivores, to be honest. I almost thought all of them, the thing is that they're always hunting worms, like they're always,
some kind of protein.
protein.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was possible.
Yeah, but yeah, it's really interesting.
I just love how Madagascar is basically just full of Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's basically just these like crazy creatures. And what even were the predators over there? You said there was like very few. Was there even?
I think,
outside of man.
And I am taking this from Madagascar the movie, but I
Oh,
know
good.
there's the fossa, which are like mini pumas.
We're a very well informed podcast that way. We get all
it looks
our
like
news
they
from-
have lemurs and some kind of like cat. Is that a fossa?
Yeah, fossa.
A
Fossa
fossa
is
is
in
that like
Madagascar.
a kind of cat?
They're
family?
like
yeah.
I think they're like kind of like tiny mountain lions. I guess is the best way to describe them.
Yeah.
So those lemurs.
Yeah, so I imagine the
and
lemurs.
elephant
Yeah,
and
so I
the
can
bird.
imagine lemurs obviously vulnerable to fossa, but giant elephant birds.
Yeah.
Probably not so much.
I was kind of thinking, like, what does this big thing taste like?
That's
Big
why they're.
12,
That's
this big
probably why
12
they're
were-
extinct.
I bet they were
'cause humans-
delicious. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because
it was just like, I've got 12 feet of meat right here. That's fantastic.
And they couldn't see at night. Their sight's not.
These like stupid birds walking around bumping into things.
Well, it did make me think, evolutionarily speaking, why they needed to be awake at night.
Right.
Because, like, owls would hunt at night because, like, that's an advantage. You can get things when they're vulnerable. You can see well. They can't. But I'm thinking, like, what's the difference?
Plants
Why
aren't
do
moving.
why do
Yeah,
elephant
yeah.
birds even need to be awake at night? So I would be curious to find out more about that.
That is what kind of always fascinates me about like evolution too. Is there's just animals that were basically poorly designed that just died out because like
Trial
they're
and error.
super
Trial and
easy
error.
to
Trial and
catch.
error.
Yeah,
Trial
it's
and
just
error.
like everything else was good, but they have really poor hearing, so they couldn't hear sharks coming up.
Yep.
I always find that
Crazy,
fascinating.
yeah. Evolution is crazy. Yeah. So.
Evolution is crazy. That is the theme of today. Until next time, this has been Anthony with the Weekly Buffer. Make sure to subscribe to us. We're on your Stitcher, Google Play, iTunes, all the good stuff here on YouTube. Make sure to give us some likes and compliment our appearances. Until next time, this is Anthony with Weekly Buffer.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Adam.
See you guys next week.